I had a serious accident that changed my life in a way I never expected. Everything I remember that it was that I was on the floor. A lot of people were actually on me because the napep had fallen sideways and they had to lift up all the passengers before they got to me. I could feel that something was wrong with my hand. I had a fracture, a very serious one. I could feel the pain to my, I don't even know how to explain that, but it was so painful. And I was thinking, after going through that pain, that would be all, but the doctor told my siblings and my parents that I needed to go for surgery. I had a lot of things going on in my head, aside from the pain. I was asking God, so why me? Why am I in this state? I had a lot of questions, but the answers were not coming. Nobody could give me a reason why I was the only one that got injured inside in the accident. The scar actually came as a result of the surgery I had to go in for after the accident. I was really affected. My self-esteem was on 1%. While I was still trying to go through it, I was served breakfast, I was very lonely because I felt like the only person I could speak to had left me without thinking about what was wrong with me or what would So 2 years ago, I had a serious accident that changed my life in a way I never expected. It was quite a lot. So I'm actually a lawyer, and I was coming from court the day the accident happened. Let me give you guys a backward story. A day before my accident, my best friend had left the country, and it was quite emotional for me because I was not going to be seeing her for a very long time. I had stayed overnight at the park and, but I needed to go to court the other day, and I went to court. I was extremely tired and I was on my way back. I was inside a napep very close to my house actually. So you can imagine coming from a distance and you are just 3 minutes to your house and the accident actually happened. And everything I remember that it was that I was on the floor, right? A lot of people were actually on me because the napep had fallen sideways and they had to lift up all the passengers before they got to me. And I knew something actually happened to my hand. It wasn't just a normal fall. I knew something actually happened. And you can imagine Lagos driver at times, and the driver was just like, get up, he just fell down. And I'm like, no, this is different. I could feel that something was wrong with my hand. So I was shouting, I'm not an illiterate, take me to the nearest hospital and call my dad. I'm very close to my dad actually. Call my dad. And God sent an angel to me that day. A young man just came from the other side and he held me and he knew that I already had a fracture. So it was like, okay, get a bag, get a phone, and that was how they rushed me to the nearest hospital. The nurses there did not want to treat me at first because they needed somebody to make payment. So I told them I'm a lawyer, of course I have money to pay. And before they actually attended to me, when my siblings came around, they had to transfer me to that hospital because they don't have all it takes to run an X-ray on me at that point. I think we went to like 2 different hospitals, and before the last hospital referred us to a lab where we did the X-ray, and I had a fracture, a very serious one. Like I can remember vividly because I was crying. They had to tear my clothes to get there, and they had to rush me down to Bobby. The doctor we met there said, we're going to try a medical, I don't know what it is called, but they called it manipulation. And I remember that night, it was actually beyond manipulation because I could feel I could feel the pain to my, I don't even know how to explain that, but it was so painful. It was so painful. And I was thinking, after going through that pain, that would be all, but the manipulation was not helpful because the doctor told my siblings and my parents that I needed to go for surgery. So I remember on my way back home that night, I had a lot of things going on in my head. Aside from the pain, I was just asking myself, I was asking God, so why me? Why am I in the States? My best friend just traveled out. And this is me. I was going to call her and tell her and ask about her flight and everything. And the first news I gave to her was, oh, I had an accident. She was so devastated actually. She actually wanted to come back to Nigeria that day to actually come and see what actually happened to me. But I had a lot of questions too. I had a lot of questions, but the answers were not coming. Nobody could give me a reason why I was in that NAPEP that day. Nobody could give me a reason why I was the only one that got injured inside in the accident, and a lot. So the scar actually came as a result of the surgery I had to go in for after the accident. I was scared because I actually did not believe I had that big mark on my hand. Because during this, I actually did not even know when the surgery took place. I was asleep. So I did not even know what actually happened in the theater. But by the time they removed the bandage and I saw the big scar, like, I was really scared. I was sad. I cried. Like, it was not from pain now, it was from the mark on my hand. So I was scared. So with this scar, I've actually experienced a lot of things, right? Especially from Yoruba parents, they will tell me, different things, different things for people that understand Yoruba. Some people, a lot of people have recommended a lot of creams. I've gotten a lot of creams, there are some creams that they smell awfully. Like at times I will put it on it. There was even a time all these abokis, right? They sold one and it was practically eating my scar. I could practically feel like my skin was burning. I was so scared. Like I could practically see the flesh. So I've used quite a lot of things, but nothing worked. And here I am again today with my beautiful scar. I don't think I need anything actually. It's beautiful like this. I was actually affected on all sides. I was really affected. My self-esteem was on maybe 1% then. It affected me from even interacting with people because I felt like this was too much. So, and at that time, right, while I was still trying to go through it, still trying to build my self-confidence back, right, I was served breakfast, That was a very big one. Honestly, that was a very big one on me then because who was going to take me with this big scar? That was the first question. Because, okay, I was used to a particular person and of course he was aware of the accident and I was like, okay, it's just a scar, that was not the way my hand was initially. But when the breakfast came, I was like, oh no, this is all. I cannot get another man, of course, because the scar is actually very visible and it affected even myself from interacting with guys because I felt like I don't want them to see this. If they see this, we don't want to be in a relationship. If they see this, what are they going to think? If they see this, I had a lot of questions, and even back then, if I need to go out, I need to wear something to cover it because I actually did not even want anybody to see it, to ask me questions. Mind you, I got a lot of questions during that period as well. A lot of questions, a lot of people looking at me as if I just killed someone. Like, obviously, something actually happened to my hand. Then I was always putting on a very big cast actually was still on my hand, bandages everywhere. But people still look at me in a very ridiculous way. So it really affected my self-esteem. It affected everything about me. I was always indoor. Not just indoor, always inside my room. Because I don't even want anybody that comes around to even see me. So it really affected me a lot. Oh yes, people treated me so differently. People treated me as if I was not part of them. Whenever I was going to board a bus or, go out, people were always trying not to sit very close to me. People were always trying to move far away from me, and, it was horrible. It was really horrible. Going to court was difficult as a lawyer, right? Going to court was very difficult. You can imagine your client asking you or looking at you very awkwardly. Even in courts, when you stand up to address the court, the magistrate looks at you and like, what's wrong? So career-wise, it was very difficult to go back because as a lawyer, I needed to be in court all the time. I needed to interact with my clients. So it was hard. It was really, really hard. And of course, like I said, my relationship, for a very long time, I struggled. I struggled with the emotional part of the breakfast and the emotional part of the scar, the emotional part of the pain, the emotional part of everything that was going on with me at that period. So I don't think anything was actually easy during that period. Everything was very hard. Everything was hard. And at that time as well, I was very lonely because I felt like the only person I could speak to had left me without thinking about what was wrong with me or what would, without even thinking about me. Because I felt like the breakfast came at the wrongest period. Maybe you could have waited for maybe a year, I don't know, but thank God it happened at that time. But it was very painful. It was a lot, but I managed. And here I am again, shining. I think maybe a year after the surgery, a year or maybe 14 months. It took a while, honestly. It's not instantaneous. It was not like, oh, I just looked into the mirror, I was like, oh, this is calling. No, took a long time. And I was in my room the day and I was just reflecting, I was just touching it like this. And let me say the Holy Spirit also really helped me a lot. I needed to accept it. It's not going to change. Yes. At some point, right, I think a stranger actually helped me. Because I was going to work that day. I was waiting for BRT, actually. I was actually on sleeveless. My scar was very opened. And the woman just walked up to me and she was like, oh, wow. Like, how did you actually come out of your house with this? And I looked at that. I actually thought it was part of the regular question. Oh, what happened to you? Why is this here? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, don't worry. I actually have a scar as well, but I don't show mine. And so I got interested because when she said she had the scar, I wanted to see where the scar was as well. So she had to lift up her dress or her cloth or her blouse for me to see. And I saw it and she was like, oh, it's been there for like 16 years. So we started talking and she was like, oh, she was the first person to call me a warrior actually. So when she said warrior, ScarWarrior, I said, oh, wow. So I'm actually a warrior. She was like, oh, that's really beautiful because she has not been able to show her scar to anybody aside from her husband. That she's always putting on something to cover it, that she's really inspired, that she really likes the fact that I'm young, I'm beautiful, I can show the world my scar, and that she was going to also expose her own, going forward. And By the time she left, because I don't know, yes, I think I got a number that day, like, oh, and I never reached out to her again though. I was just thinking about it. I was like, oh, so I'm a scar warrior, I'm a warrior, and because of my scars, somebody also said she's going to show her scars also to the world. So I felt that was good. I love me. I love myself so much. I tell myself all the time, Pamela, you are beautiful. Pamela, you are lovable. Pamela, you are everything good. So, of course, I love myself. So I think I was really more affected then when I had the accident, because I felt like a pretty girl like this shouldn't go through all this, right? So self-love has actually helped me in a lot of ways, because I know getting sad would put me in a state that I don't want to be, and beating myself on something I can't change would also put me in a state I don't want to be as well. So loving myself like this, a pretty girl, a lawyer, a CEO, oh man, I think self-love has actually helped me in a lot of ways. People living with scars, right? Scar comes in different forms. Some are physical, some are emotional, some are actually visible, and some are hidden deep within us. Each one carries a story, a journey of pain, healing, and resilience. I have experienced both physical and emotional scars, actually. For people that have scars, right, what I wish other people understand about it is that it's not easy. Believe me, it is very, very difficult to come to that realization that you have a mark on you that you can never erase. Even when you're under the shower, you try to wash it off, it is still there, like very visible, like you sleep with it, you wake up, you still see it, you dress, you still see it, and a lot of things. So we all need to understand that it is actually not easy. And coming to accept it as well is a phase. It's a painful reality. So it's not as easy or as easy as any other person can think about, because you don't have a scar, so you might not really understand. It is when you are in the shoe before you can actually understand, especially those that their scars are very visible, like it is very obvious. Maybe it's on their face or their leg or their hand, somewhere very visible actually. So it's you just have to be careful with what you see around them, how you look at them, how you talk actually, because words are seeds. Like you go back to your house, you go back to your room when you're alone, you still remember it, echoes in your mind. You hear it audibly, like the person is still talking to you. So you have to be very careful when you talk about certain things. Emotional scars as well. Some girls have gone through, have been served breakfast here, not twice, not 3 times, like they are shattered, they are broken. It is difficult. Some people in their marriage, in their career, in their personal life, they are going through a lot of things. You might not know. So we need to be very careful with our words. I think words, like, they are the most important thing around that you have to be very careful about when you see somebody with a scar. I would say, like I said earlier, words. People have said a lot of things that till now I can still repeat their words like back to back, what they said, especially when you are on a public transport. You know, people saying things at your back. When you're walking, people looking at you as if you are not expected to be there. You know, people saying a lot of things. So stereotype, I think some people don't even want to be my friends because I have it. Some people don't want to be associated with me because I have this beautiful scar, right? So yes, I think there's quite a lot. I would say yes, because physical appearance now is everything. like it is actually everything. You know, some people, for example, models, some people don't want to give gigs to models that have scars. Like, even for people that have tribal marks, like some people don't even want them to influence for their brands. Some people don't even want them to be seen with them. Some people don't even want anybody to know that, okay, I know this person. So I think, yes, maybe if people don't pay so much attention to physical appearance, maybe a lot of people with scars will be able to walk freely without feeling bad. My scar, my story, it's a badge of honor for me. It shows that it shows my strength, shows the fact that I'm a warrior. Like I passed through every stage, from being depressed, accepting it, working with it, you know, having it part of me. My scar is my story, my scar, my story, my scar, my honor, my scar, my everything, and it's really beautiful. After the surgery, I think one of the most emotional things that happened to me was the fact that I lost my 2 dogs. As a dog lover, right, losing Bella and Coco at that period was a big blow, like a very, very big blow. I remember a day before my surgery, and my vet had called me that my dog was sick. You know, right there, I think if they had checked my BP during that period, it must have skyrocketed, because I was very anxious, because I needed to know what was wrong with her. And my dad had called my sister, like, why did you tell her? She was going to tell her in the next few hours. And you know how close she is to her dogs and everything. And they lied to me that, oh, she was just pregnant and everything was fine. So I went into the theater, I came out, you know, and everything. And I remember 2 days after the surgery, I was discharged to go home, and I got home that day. I was waiting for Bella and Coco, of course, to jump on me, because I really missed them. And I did not see them in the cage. I felt like, okay, maybe my dad had taken them to the backyard, so that, you know, I was just coming back from the hospital and all the excitement and everything. And I did not even think, I was not even thinking if something actually happened to them, because I was just going to enter my room, you know, freshen up and call my dogs and, you know, just play with them and everything. And my dad had to tell me that Bella died. Of course, that was very unbelievable. Bella died. How? That was the question. When I was still trying to take it in and Bella died, he said Coco died as well. I said Coco died. You know, oh my God, I cried. I locked myself up in the room. You know, as I was in a relationship, he was actually aware that something had actually happened to my dogs. So they had informed him as well not to tell me, because I was really close to them. And everybody knew aside from me that my dogs died. So that was very painful as well after my surgery. Like, that was actually very, very painful. Dog lovers, you guys will understand what I'm talking about. And another thing was, you know, going through therapy was something else. Like, going through physiotherapy was something else. And I'm still going through it, and it's still something else. Yeah, speaking about the breakfast. Now, it's not even a breakfast again. Perfect. Yes, he's the one calling me right now, trying to check in on me. Yeah, I found love even with my scar. I found love. I found a good man. I found somebody that accepted my scar the way I actually accepted it. You know, it's beautiful having to share this with someone as well. Somebody different, of course. Somebody more handsome. Yes, I found love. So if you have a scar, regardless of whatever scar you have, you can always achieve anything. After my scar, or with my scar, I got my car, I started my law firm, I'm a CEO of my brand, Parina Consult. I've made more friends. I'm even doing so well in every aspect. So with your scar, you are bold, you are confident, you can do everything you set your mind to do, even with the scar. It is part of you. It is you. It is beautiful, and you just have to accept it with all that you have. So here I am today. I am Pamela Esquire. I'm the founder of ScarWarriors Foundation. It's a community where we encourage ourselves for those that have scars, be it physical or be it a scar you can see or not. We embrace each other as a family, encourage yourself to accept our scars, be confident with your scar. Like, you can do everything you set your mind to do, even before the scar. So you can achieve actually a lot. You can be a model, you can be an influencer, you can own the biggest company, you can do a lot of things even with your scar. So really, for everyone watching this video, I want you to be more encouraged. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not the only scar warrior out there. You have others like me, embracing mine with everything, with love, with strength, with boldness, with confidence and everything. So even if you know somebody that has a scar, encourage them as well. You can be a light, you can be a strength, you can be a strength, you can be a big support to those that have scars as well. So this video actually is just to tell my story and also to encourage us scar warriors that we are one. You come together and embrace your scar.